Talking about racism in America 2020. I am Dred Scott. Do blacks have rights in which white America respects? Well, Governor Hogan been disrespecting black people's rights since he got in office. It's a new face of old Jim Crow. Been making a documentary about Maryland's politics since 1997. All right? Since 1997. So right now the focus is on Governor Hogan. We're talking about racism and corruption in our Baltimore City and Baltimore County courts. And I broke your corruption machine down. Just like Operation Grey Lord in Chicago in 1980s, I gave you Operation Grey Lord here. I gave you what the new face of old Jim Crow. You feel me? How you protect yourself. I'm in Baltimore now, so I gave you Baltimore rewired. I sold you the militarization of your policing department. The criminalization of poverty, being black in America. Racism don't work without black cooperation. Racism don't work without black cooperation. You got blacks that sell out Baltimore City and Baltimore County. You feel me? So let's make sure that we get this story straight. These are the supporters of Shorty. We're also imploring any and appropriate officials in the state of Maryland. You go directly to Senator Antonio Hayes. He has the book, I Am Dred Scott. It's a screenplay for a movie about Maryland's politics, and it breaks it down. You go directly to Senator Antonio Hayes, and he got this. You go directly to Senator Bill Ferguson, and he has my request for a grand jury. So does Corey McCray. Leaders of a Beautiful Struggle, Cheryl Glenn. I asked to approach the grand jury to expose the corruption and the racism in Baltimore City and Baltimore County courts. This is Governor Hogan. I appointed as a state prosecutor. As a state prosecutor, he has to take this case right there. My criminal complaint against Schellenberger. And that's the letter from Johnny Oleski asking for him to do it. You're the Speaker of the House. 2020, you got to deal with this. You got to deal with this because you got evidence and knowledge as well. I handed it to you. I put it in your hand. You were present when I made the complaint in Baltimore County about Scott Schellenberger. That's head State's Attorney Mosby. That's the Department of Justice. They have this information. That's the Department of Justice, and that's Johnny Oleski. I was making a documentary about Baltimore City Council, the Mayor's Office, Baltimore City Delegation, Baltimore Commissioner Harris, and Marilyn Mosby. The House of Delegates. These are the emails that prove that it's a justice. It is what it is. File a class action lawsuit because you're kidnapping, human trafficking. Kidnapping and human trafficking. You see this? Everything since 2006. Governor Hogan gave me this in 2016. Governor Hogan gave this to me. All right? So, like the Bible story, you gave me a toy to go play with. Unless like the Bible story, I want my freedom. I want my freedom. Wesley Lowry got this. Justin Fenton got this. It's the art of getting money. The money behind your prison industry. And these are the cases that your state prosecutor has to address. My property was stolen. My truck, my computer, and 8 years worth of videos. Videos about the media, portraits of a letter, parts of letters to Zion, movie releases, contracts. $130 million worth of material was stolen out of my truck. This is when your police came to my house, put guns to my head in June of 2010 to protect Governor O'Malley and the corruption in the crime machine. You got a job to do, and you got a job to do. It's to defend my rights as a black man in America. Governor Hogan, I have appointed a state prosecutor. That state prosecutor got to take this case. That state prosecutor got to take this case. You see who's on this? Governor Hogan, Google Drive, Gayle King, Donald Trump, Chief Hyatt, Governor Hogan. All right? This is the case file. That's the criminal complaint. Right there. I am Dred Scott. That's my property. I own myself. 100 shares of me. Don't nobody own me but me. Subject letter. Criminal complaint number. Victims' rights under Maryland state law. Submitted to Judge Cox. County Police, State's Attorney Schellenberger, Baltimore County, Maryland. Ken LaRue, you kidnapped me. Just like Dred Scott, you kidnapped me and I'm fighting for my freedom. Just like Dred Scott. Do blacks have rights in which white America respects? That's 2017. I've been fighting this fight since 2007. Maryland Comptroller. Audit for criminal charges. Because the state of Maryland accepted forged checks. Alright? That's the Comptroller's office. Right there it said FCC, Credit Bureau, your local police department. I filed it with my local police department. And you ain't did nothing yet. Federal audit. So tell me if I got rights or not. Because that's identity theft, victims assistance, certified mail, IRS. The state participated in the fraud. Governor O'Malley. That's Governor O'Malley, 2006. Like I said, I've been filming y'all since 2006. Making a movie about y'all and my property, my intellectual property. That's Michael Bush. All right? You got Bush's job, so you got to do what Bush didn't do. That's Michael Bush, House of Delegates, the Maryland Black Caucus, Teller Branch, Bridges. All right? That's Branch. These are the black faces that's selling out the black community. Racism don't work without black cooperation. That's my third letter to Governor O'Malley. And you ain't did nothing about it. You ain't did nothing about it. But he got all the paperwork. He gonna show you all the black faces that participated in this. Director of the ACLU. All right? Chicago FBI. Like I said, I want a federal trial. Shorty's Underground Ribs. I want a federal and a state audit on Shorty's Underground Ribs. And we can end all of this. $2.6 million in fraud. The state participated in that fraud. You know all about that fraud. And you ain't doing nothing about it. Period. 2018, I came down there and gave it to all y'all. I had to reshoot all the footage. Now I got all the footage that I need. We're going to talk about the corruption and the racism and the money and the racketeering in your courts that get paid. And we're going to talk about the role your media plays in it. Kai Jackson, Stein Saunders, Vic Carter. We're going to give you a list of the corruption machine. Vanessa Herring, WBAL. T.J. Smith. And he running for office? T.J. Smith and Johnny Oleski at the top of the list. T.J. Smith and Johnny Oleski got enough information to send a lot of y'all to jail. And T.J. Smith knows it. Because like I said, this is my criminal enterprise. Baltimore Rewired. I'm going to break you down and I'm going to sell this story to whoever want to buy it. Netflix, Apple Prime, whoever want to buy the story, I'm selling it. I'll sell it to Russia if I have to. But we're going to settle for selling it to Donald Trump. We're going to send it to Donald Trump as a whistleblower's application. for a federal investigation into Governor Hogan's administration. A federal investigation into Governor Hogan's administration, how he's been shielding the corruption. That's my Community Verizon Award. You feel me? From 2016. I've been fighting racism all my life. The new face of old Jim Crow. A movie all about Larry Hogan and his racism. We're going to show you what the media didn't show you. Go straight to Johnny Oleski. I was kidnapped by the state of Maryland for making a movie about Illinois and Maryland. I am Dred Scott, being black in America. Go ask John Rydell. Go to Antonio Hayes and get it. He signed for it. That's his signature.